This is Texans TV.
We're going one-on-one with D-line coach Bobby King. Plus, we're chit-chatting about the offense in 2021. Texans 360 is now.
We are ready to rock. In Houston. Rock and roll. Oh, let's go!
Guess when you think you've seen it all, there's always something else.
What a day, what a night. Whenever you're watching this, we're happy that you are locked in on Texans 360. My name's Drew Dougherty. I'm your host, and we've got Cecil Shorts III with us, a Texans receiver for a few years, spent a long time in the NFL. Now you're on the radio, you're out and about for the Houston Texans. It's good to be with you. You want to talk a little football?
Let's do it, bro.
I like it. I'm encouraged and I'm enthused because in addition to hearing from Cecil, we got to cover a 2-point play or a 2-point stop, really. Plus, we've got freedom to discuss and camping. But we begin with some news of the week. And Texans training camp will be upon us very, very soon. We find out that 5 training camp dates going to be open to the public, season ticket members, as well as some folks from the general public. And hey, if you really need a ticket, holler at me on Twitter. I'll figure something out and I'll twist some elbows, stomp on some toes. But it's fun. We see the Texans going to practice 4 days, have a day off, 6 days, have a day off. 4 more, day off, 4 more, and that's it. So it's about a month long with 3 preseason games mixed in. It's an important time of year, isn't it?
It's an important time, man. And it's right now it's the build-up. A lot of guys are finishing up workouts, trying to tighten up and like a peak at the right point of conditioning, route running, wherever the case may be. So it's an important time. And like you mentioned, the preseason is a little different this year. So it's 3 games and it's cuts after each game. As a former player, it kind of makes me nervous, like, oh my gosh, but it puts pressure on the guys, but it's good. Pressure can make diamonds, and I'm looking forward to it.
Cecil brings up a very good point about cuts. So there's a 90-man roster. The Texans have 90 guys right now. They'll play the Green Bay Packers in that first preseason game on a Saturday night. A few days later, 5 guys get cut. It'll go down to 85. A week after that, gets cut down to 80, and the week after that, then you go to 53. Yeah. So training camp was very, very important and is very important for everybody. But training camp a few years back for Justin Reid, painful. He had a shoulder injury, and he would wind up having a couple shoulder injuries, but that didn't affect his play during the season. Especially in Week 2, 2019, Texans needed a win. They were 0-1, and they needed a stop at the end. Here's a look back at what Justin Reid and the Texans defense was able to do against the Jaguars. Week 2 of 2019, Texans in a dogfight against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags had just scored with just seconds remaining in the game, and instead of kicking the extra point to tie things up, they were going for 2. They were going to try and win it. Gardner Minshew had kind of moved the offense at ease on this drive, and you figure, well, they're going to let the rookie sling it. Instead, they give it to Leonard Fournette, and Leonard Fournette met the wall. Justin Reid.
He did.
Bump shoulder and all, and he puts it in there, and it's one of the best plays he's ever made.
I'm glad you brought that up because earlier in that season, Justin had gotten hurt in a preseason practice against the Detroit Lions back in August, and he played with a shoulder that I don't think he practiced all year.
He wore a red jersey like quarterbacks do, meaning you can't touch this guy.
Yeah, all year. Minshew just threw a touchdown to DJ Chark, and immediately, and I was standing back over here just outside the camera, about right there. I look over and I see Doug Marrone put up 2 fingers, and I kind of had a thought they would go for 2. They had not played exceptionally well, but they could steal one right here. That would have been a great win for them. And to your point about Gardner Minshew not throwing the ball, thankfully, as we'll see in our Microsoft service here, he didn't throw the ball, and I'll show you what I'm talking about when we get there. But this looks like it's just inside zone. Leonard Fournette going to try and pound it in. And here's Justin Reid right here. He's the guy, and it looks like at the time, as this play is going on, Justin kind of gets himself in position, and then right as Leonard Fournette is trying to dive, he catches him right there.
Just by the hair of our chinny chin chins.
And I'm telling you, from our angle, it looks like he's over, but obviously he was inches short when you get on the plane. But let me go back here. The thought in Jacksonville was that this was an RPO. Now, I don't think it was. because Gardner Minshew would be looking this way when if in RPO, he would have been looking this way. But had it been an RPO, the Texans get caught right here on a bunch route or on a pick route, and Keelan Cole is wide open.
Yep.
He's wide open, but Minshew gives the ball to Fournette, and then Justin Reed makes the stop. Let's take a look at it on the surface right here. And you can see Jay Reed right there, got to finish.
Great
And that's
second
why
effort.
you never give up. That ball is so close to that line without going over. It's crazy. That was one heck of a play by safety Justin Reed.
Instead of going 0-2, it meant the Texans were 1-1. They would win the next week at Los Angeles to beat the Chargers to go up to 2-1. And it was a weird sequence that year. They would lose 1, win 2, lose 1, win 2, the whole way through.
It was weird. Gardner Minshew celebrating, but it didn't count. It counted as an L for them and a W for the Texans.
That was a nice stop by the defense in 2019. 2021 Texans, let's talk offense. You played the position, wide receiver. You were very good at it. So the Texans have some talent there in Brandon Cooks. Top of the heap as far as the talent goes, and then a lot of other guys behind him with varied skill sets. But let's start with Cooks. How important is this guy to what the Texans want to do offensively?
I'll tell you what, I think Cooks is underrated. I love him, very productive in the NFL, 5,000-yard seasons. And to me, he doesn't get enough acknowledgement for his route running. Of course, he's fast, can take the top off, can run by you, of course, even at his age of 27, which is still young in his prime. But he can run any route. And when you put that pressure on somebody, that, hey, I'm fast, I'm going to run by you, they back off a little bit, and then now guess what? Intermediate, short game. He takes advantage of that. He's a really good receiver.
And he's not a guy that's been linked up with just one quarterback in his career. He's been linked with many great quarterbacks, but just about every year, it seems, since he's been in his final year in New Orleans, he's had a new guy throwing him the football. How tough is that as a wide receiver? Because not everybody can do that and produce the way he has, right?
It's definitely a quality that he has. It's a testament to his hard work because it's not easy. When you have to build timing with so many different quarterbacks, so many great quarterbacks that demand a lot from you, it speaks to his work ethic, it speaks to his ability, and that's why I say he's underrated because it's not easy to do what he's doing year in and year out. Besides 1 year, his rookie year, and then 1 year he had dealt with some concussions, 1,000 yards, 5 seasons, like that's special.
Yeah.
And it's something that's not easy to do, so he is definitely a hard worker and a good receiver again.
You're right about that. He does it kind of quietly to the rest of the football world. I mean, we appreciate what he did last year and can recognize what he means to this team. How about another receiver that you've got your eye on that you're really intrigued by and you think might do some good things for this team in 2021?
I absolutely love Nico Collins.
Yeah, okay.
I know we couldn't see him in 2020 because he opted out, but in 2019 he was fabulous. In 2020 he got to really dwell in and train as far as work out and work on his route running, but he has the ability to be on the opposite side and can be the number 2. Big body guy. He can run by you. So I'm interested to see how they use him, but his talent is out the roof.
You just touched on the receivers coach, Robert Prince. He's also worked with guys like Calvin Johnson going into the Hall of Fame. Galladay's pretty darn good as well for the Detroit Lions. So free agent-wise, anybody that you're keeping an eye on as well? Because, hey, there's a guy that's kind of got a similar story to yours, coming from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Houston Texans and Chris Conley. But on the whole, who do you like?
You know what? I love Andre Roberts. I think he's more of a special teams guy. I love Chris Conley.
We'll count Andre Roberts. He catches the ball.
But Andre is somebody that got my attention because he understands how to be a pro. He can give advice to the younger guys on the roster. I love Kiki and Nico. We talked about Nico just now. But having Andre Roberts or Chris Conley, guys that have been around the league, has played a lot of football, they can give those guys advice along with Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Andre Roberts, if you just focus on what he did on special teams, huge addition to this team, but people kind of forget and shortchange, I think, what he can do as a pass catcher. He's done it. He's been a solid guy as far as coming in, and he's not your alpha receiver, but he comes in and can definitely contribute and make things happen with the ball on offense.
He can be really good in the slot. And when he was in Arizona, he was outside with Larry Fitzgerald out there. He did really good in the slot. So he can be outside in the slot, he can be outside, he can make plays for you. Like I said, not the alpha in the room, but he can be a guy you can depend on for sure.
What's the pressure on the quarterbacks, Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills? What's that like?
You know what? It's going to be pressure, but one thing I love about this upcoming season, when you bring in guys like Marcus Cannon, when you bring in guys like Justin Britt already with Titus Howard and Max Sharping and Laramie Tunsil, you're solidifying your line up front. You're making it really good up front. So now guess what? You're able to run the ball a little better.
Yeah.
So the pressure is taken off of those guys. You got to execute as a quarterback. You can't turn the ball over. But the one thing Tyrod Taylor does not do is put his team in bad situations and doesn't turn the ball over. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play well this year.
Just brought up Justin Britt, and that's somebody who we heard from and heard good things from. But we've also, in the building here, we've heard really good things about him so far, and he's flourishing. Now, yes, there hasn't been any hitting. There's no pads on yet. It's not game day. But from what they've seen at this juncture in the offseason and in preseason and all that stuff, they really like what he can do. And you don't just start in Seattle for a bunch of years if you're not a guy, if you're not a player.
Talking about to a few people in Seattle about Justin Britt, he owned the room, the offensive line room in Seattle. He was like the guy that held everybody accountable. He has that grit, that toughness about him. He definitely brings that to the table.
All right, after the break, we're putting a wire on somebody, but don't worry, the FBI's not involved, so nobody's going to get hurt or arrested. It's all about the Texans youth camp. Stick with us. This is Texans 360.
Go Texans! Hi everyone, I'm Alex.
I'm Aksa.
We're here at the Houston Methodist Training Center for HTC Finals.
Go Texans! Go Texans! Go Texans! Go Texans! Finals. Don't forget to vote for your favorite HTC finalists this week. Go Texans!
Welcome back, Texans 360. Drew Dougherty, Cecil Shorts III coming at you from the Ford Studios. You know, you have a few kids, I have a few kids. I'm underselling things. We both got a lot of kids. And you got sons. I got sons.
Yeah.
I got a dad tip for you.
Okay.
Send your boys, if you can, if you want, to the flag football, the youth football camp for the Houston Texans. My boys went this year. They loved it.
Wow, I'm excited. My son loves flag football. He has a knack for it. And I don't want to put him in tackles too early, so I'll definitely think about it and do it. That's fun.
And you're a coach, so you know
Yeah.
you've got lots of ways to teach the game to them. This is a fun one, as you'll see right here in this mic'd up video.
Let's go! It's a mic. It's a mic. Look, guys, you want to say something? No. Yo, can I have the mic? Please say something. Say something. Say something. Hello. Did you hear that? Yeah. They're ready. I need a helmet. Red team for the win, baby. You want to see some magic? Come here. Say something. Now, if you just heard that wave. Say something.
Shoot.
Okay. What if I told you he just heard it? Wave if you heard it. If you heard that wave. Say something. Say something. Oh my God. No, he's literally doing it. Look, see, he's smiling now.
Bring it up! Woo! Bring it up! Woo! Everybody stand up, stand up, stand up. We gotta get this thing crunk up. When I say your team, everybody say what?
Yeah! Yeah!
Team!
Yeah!
Team!
Yeah! Yeah!
Break it down that ball. Say ha! Bring it up!
Ha!
Bring it up!
Ha!
Bring it up!
Ha!
Bring it up!
Ha!
Bring it up!
Ha! Stop. We're here to work. I'm quarterback. I'm quarterback.
Good.
Oh, he has an arm. It says Texans. I am not letting you go anywhere, sir. Oh, yeah! Yeah! Oh, we sacked him.
Great job. All right, let's go, CJ. Remember, you gotta be 1 yard off the ball.
What happened? Oh, we sacked the quarterback.
We sacked the huddle.
Guys, this is going on the internet.
After the break, Bobby King's in charge of the defensive line, and he's optimistic about the front this fall. Texans 360 continues in a moment.
What I love about Houston is the diversity. I think the city of Houston is a very diverse and passionate city and people.
I really like the people. I like the large city environment.
The city of Houston is very diverse. There's a lot of activities here culturally, socially, entertainment-wise, sports.
Oh, Houston has just
absolutely everything you could want to do, want to be at, want to go to, want to eat at. I mean, it's just got everything.
Great food, great, hospitality, Southern hospitality. So Houston's just a place I call home.
We're proud of our city. We're proud of that Houston name, and on top of that, we're all Texans. And so that's what makes Texan fans great.
Glad you're back. This is Texans 360, Drew and Cecil. Cecil, I know you played offense, but you know the game.
Yeah.
Defensively, who's one guy you really can't wait to see, thinks going to make an impact on this 2021 squad?
You know what? It's a guy that just is his first year coming in, Desmond King.
Oh, yeah.
The second, I believe.
Yeah.
I think he's a former All-Pro, 2018. He can play nickel, can play outside. I'm just really looking forward to seeing what he can do to help our secondary. What can he do to help the Texans? Can he play opposite side of Bradley Roby? Can we move him inside and he can really lock down whoever that slot defender is? I think he can fit this system really well, and I'm looking forward to see Desmond King.
Interesting guy. Last year started out the season with the Chargers, got traded November to the Titans. A few days later, suits up for Tennessee the first game, scoops up a fumble, takes it 63 yards for a score. Earlier in his career, he'd get sacks, he'd get tackles for loss, interceptions, pass breakout. He's a very impactful player. I like that pick. We just wrote an article about him on HoustonTexans.com. Check it out there or on the Texans mobile app. And you can also check out more of this interview. It's a one-on-one with John Harris and linebackers coach Bobby King. This is good stuff. I say linebackers coach because he used to coach the outside linebackers, but now he's coaching the defensive line.
Back on Texans Radio, John Harris here alongside new defensive line coach, former linebacker, so he's been around, changing a little bit, my man Bobby King. Coach, first of all, how are you doing, my friend? How's this offseason been?
Outstanding. It's great to have the players here and couldn't be more fired up about the group I'm working with, so all well right now, John.
Coach, you got a number of different players added to the scheme, Malik Collins, Vincent Taylor. What have you seen from the veterans that have been added? What are they bringing to the defensive line bouillabaisse, if you will?
You know what? It's since day one with these guys. I'm talking about even with the Zoom calls before we met in person. I mean, it's been a hungry, competitive group in a good way. And they go out there and battle. I don't have to tell them to work. Some groups with vets and stuff, you got to kind of prod them along. Not this group. They come out there and they're fired up, ready to roll, wanting more. And it's been a joy so far, and look forward to training camp.
Coach, you saw it from a different perspective last year, but now you see it up close with Ross Blacklock. He's going into his second year. The 2020 COVID year was different for everybody. I would imagine for rookies, it was a wild thing going on. How do you feel like Ross is acclimated to the new system, and what do you want to see from Ross Blacklock in year two?
You know, which I've told Ross, this is pretty much his first offseason in the NFL. It's not pretty much, it is just because of last year. And so he's learning on the fly. He's getting better every day. And I'm expecting big things from Ross. I mean, he's a great kid. He's got a lot of ability. Now we got to tap into it and look forward to what he's going to do for us this year.
Coach, this is always a fun question because in the offseason, you guys don't get to put pads on. But there's still a lot to get done at every single position, even if you're not putting on the pads. What are you focused on with this defensive line during this offseason period?
Obviously, learning the scheme is the number one thing. You know, you have to learn it's a new language. We've done a lot of these blitzes in the past, but it was called something different. So it's like knowing English and learning Spanish. So they have to learn the whole new language. And then with me, John, it's all technique and it's all fundamentals. Learning how to win, learning how to pass rush, learning how to defeat a block. So that's what we've been concentrating on, those things.
And you get a draft pick added to the mix too, Roy Lopez. I know rookies obviously don't have anything guaranteed to them, but you got a young man that grew up as a wrestler. He grew up a coach's kid. There are a lot of things to like about Roy. What have you seen early from Roy in his early career here with the Texans?
So far, Roy's been great. He's a smart kid, like you talked about. He's got some big legs. He's strong lower half. I mean, huge legs. So I'm hoping once the pads get on, what I'm thinking right now is he's going to be a tough guy to move. And he's a great kid. He's a sponge. He's a guy that's not saying a whole lot right now. He's a man of action. And I think some good things are in the future for Roy.
Coach, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll get a chance to do this in person down the road.
You got it, John.
When we return, we're hopping on a bike and taking a ride through history. Texans 360 rolls on, literally. We're back. It's Texans 360. Drew Dougherty, Cecil Shorts III. You know, you're out and about in the community for the Houston Texans doing a lot of different things. Get to spread goodwill. You get to interact with people. You get to learn a heck of a lot, though, too, don't you?
Absolutely. It's I mean, every time I do an event, just because I'm kind of new to Houston per se, but so many things in the city, so many things in the community. But the Texans really care about the community and giving back, so it's pretty cool to be a part of it.
I'm from here, and I've gone out and done some of these things, and I learn a heck of a lot, too.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool. All right, check this out. It was a YMCA Freedom Tour that went down recently, and here is a little bit of what they got to see.
Today is the first leg of our Houston Freedom Tour, so we are spending 2 days with 23 young people learning about civil rights movement and Black history here in Houston. Today we kicked off the tour with the Third Ward Bike Tour, and so we visited Emancipation Park. We went to Shape Community Center and got an amazing lesson just on how Shape was very vocal and advocates for the civil rights movement. And then we are now here at This Is It Soul Food that actually started in Freedmanstown, is one of the oldest soul food restaurants here in the city. Y-Team Life stands for Leadership, Inspiration, and Fellowship in Education, and our goal is really to provide holistic opportunities for young people to connect together to gain a positive social peer circle. We are so thankful for the Houston Texans organization for always supporting our Y-Team Life programs, specifically those opportunities that we are able to bring to our young people at a reduced cost, but also, again, opportunities that they would not necessarily have access to.
There you go. There you go.
That's all the time we got for tonight. We appreciate you watching. Next time you and I are together on TV, it's going to be a Texans Extra Points. You in?
Oh, absolutely.
That's how close we are to the football season start, which is outstanding. Make sure you watch next week. Next Sunday, it's the Building the Texans special. It's going to be a lot of fun. Same time, same channel. It's a Sunday night show, though, so check that out. For Caroline Jordan, for Tyler Marcotte, the rest of the guys and gals that put the show together, I'm Drew Dougherty. We'll see you next time. Until then, go Texans. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.